This film is the culmination of a lot of things, but I know it goes along with the documentary that you voiced, Billy, in early 2024. And that tells a story, but this being a film tells another story. But I want you to kind of walk us through why you felt like this message needed this also, telling of this story.
Well, it's been a terrible problem for decades in America, since 60s, 70s. It became compounded in the 80s when federal funding was cut off for a lot of mental health programs. And it's gotten much worse between the internet and social media and bullying and the division in the country and the pandemic and the isolation. Then you throw on top of that the fentanyl crisis. Homelessness in LA County alone went from 54,000 to 76,000 over COVID. And it's not just LA, it's not just the big cities, it's not just the West Coast. It's going on county by county across the country. It's gotten worse everywhere. But the good news is there's amazing programs that are doing remarkable work with incredible results. Some of them with a 70, 80% success rate, back on your feet, independent, totally self-sufficient. But it requires, significant care, wraparound care. You can't just take a person off the streets that's mentally ill and put them into housing and think the problem has gone away. You get them off the street and you put them in an apartment or in a home, the problem isn't over. They have to be treated. They need health care. They need job training. They need job placement. But many of these programs are highly successful in gaining huge inroads, and we need your help.
Yeah, it's incredible the way this has humanized the issue. And there's so many times when I think you see the encampments or you see people on the street and you don't know what to do and you almost disassociate, but this humanizes these people so much by going in and telling their stories. And Ashanti, was that important for you? You've acted, obviously, but this is different than what you've done. What was your draw to this?
It was completely different, a different character than anything I've ever done, and that's what I loved about it. Being an ex-veteran and being addicted to pain pills and medicine and being on drugs, completely out of my scope. And I wanted to just bring authenticity to it, so it meant a lot to go and visit the encampments and read the stories on these people, and just the authenticity of it was so important, just to portray to people, this is what's going on, this is a crisis, and we have to try and do everything we can to stop it. So I wanted to be a part of it, and hopefully we invoke change.
Wait till you see this one on screen.
Aww,
wow.
Wait till you see this one on screen.
She's all dolled up right now. Wait till you see this. This was like deep method. She did some just really super powerful work.
Thank you so much. You too. Yeah, absolutely.
Was it hard to go there, you guys, for both of you? Because you want to bring this to life, and in order to bring it to life, you kind of do have to do some method acting, and it can be heavy. So what was it like emotionally to go there, to bring this to screen, to know it's a good thing, but also to know that that's going to stick with you?
For me, it meant a lot because, again, it was just completely different. The plus part was hair and makeup was completely 20 minutes. So, so I was so happy about that. No makeup, put a little mud on me. But just, again, the compassion that you feel just trying to get these stories out there. And again, like you said, to humanize them. People are struggling, like Billy keeps saying. It's like a mental thing. It's a mental crisis, and people are struggling, and society tends to kick you when you're down instead of helping, So hopefully this film just opens up everyone's eyes to say, what can we do to change this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and obviously seeing the film is going to help, and just to bring awareness to this. Awareness is the first step, but this is actually going to go to help people in homelessness as well when they buy tickets for the movie. Can you talk to us some about how that is going back to directly help this issue?
Yeah, we want people to take away that this is a mental health crisis, not only a homelessness crisis. The people that are homeless, 1.6 million are children, not their fault. Some of them are disabled veterans, not their fault. Others are experiencing a mental health crisis, not their fault. Others, because of a health crisis with their child, have had to file for bankruptcy. They wind up living in an alley in their car, not their fault. So we're trying to raise awareness, raise compassion, have it be a call to arms. We'd like you to, in your community, federal, state, local, nonprofit, faith-based, get involved. If you can't, write a check. And we would love for you, because if you go to noaddressmovie.com, You can buy tickets. Movie opens this Friday, February 28th. We want you to go. We want you to take a friend. We want you to tell all of your friends, because 50% of the proceeds will go to funding incredible programs that have very high success rates in getting people back to a life of independence and self-sufficiency, back on their feet and living on their own again.
Yeah, absolutely incredible, you guys. I work a lot in volunteer and animal rescue, and a lot of times we see people who are facing homelessness. They're pet owners. They struggle with what to do with their pet, things like that, and it really, some of them are willing to have their pet eat before they eat. So it really just humanizes these people, and you want to help, you want to do something. What advice do you have to people like me, where we see this and we're like, this is such a big issue, we don't know where to start? How can we start today as regular people in our city?
Good.
Well, I mean, one of the first things, obviously, when you, like we all just said, when you purchase the tickets, those donations go to helping these people directly that you are talking about, to help get them on their feet. And I think you have all the information, like community, get involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
donate.
There's programs almost in every town, with your church, with your synagogue, with local nonprofit organizations. I would say get involved, have an impact, make a difference. But the hard part is that you see this, you get inspired, you get motivated, you want to do something, you want to change, you want to be the change, right? And then all of a sudden life gets in the way. You got to go to work, you got to pay the bills, you're falling behind, your kids are crying, you got to make dinner, you don't have time for a shower. And we become desensitized, and you got to try to stay the course in any capacity that you can.
Even
right?
donating,
donating
to Salvation Army, even if it's clothes, food, you know what I mean? Donate, give back to the community.
And you know what's another way? When you see a homeless person, look them in the eye and smile. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want their dignity restored. They say that to me over and over and over again in encampments and in shelters. If somebody would just walk by and look at me and smile and say hello and say, have a great day, have a great weekend, that goes a long way. Instead of burying yourself in your phone and looking the other way. And because, a lot of people are afraid, they're not sure what they're encountering. You walk by somebody, you just make eye contact and say, hey, hope you're having a great day. Could make a world of difference.
Absolutely.